Control Center configuration. After deploying and setting up the GravityZone appliance, you must access the Control Center web interface and configure the Control Center settings. To access the Control Center web interface, enter in the address bar of your web browser, the IP address or DNS hostname of the Control Center appliance with the web console role installed. You must first register your GravityZone deployment to a Bitdefender account. This allows you to get easy access to Bitdefender help and support services. Additionally, your Bitdefender GravityZone license keys will be stored under this account. You will be providing here the username and password of your Bitdefender account. If you do not have an account yet, click on I don't have a My Bitdefender account. Provide the license keys required for validating the purchased GravityZone security services. In case of GravityZone Enterprise Security, there is one license key available for each security service. Enter the license key in the key field and click the Add button. Wait until the license key is validated. You can also view the security service and the expiry date for each license key in the corresponding columns. During the initial setup, at least one valid license key must be provided to start using GravityZone. You can afterwards add more license keys or modify the existing ones. Specify the required details for your company and company administrator account. For the administrator account, you have to specify a username, an email address and a password. Passwords must contain at least one uppercase character, at least one lowercase character, and at least one digit or special character. Click the Create Account button in order to create the company's administrator account, and you will automatically log on with the new account to GravityZone Control Center. After everything is set, the essential tips will pop up on your screen. After closing these, you will be shown your dashboard. Control Center Management. In order to configure Control Center, go to Configuration, at the bottom of the main menu. Now, let's browse through the tabs found here. Mail Server. Control Center requires an external mail server to send communications. It is recommended to create a dedicated mail account just for this. After this has been done, just go to Configuration, navigate to Mail Server, and check the Mail Server settings box. Complete the necessary fields, and click on Save. Proxy. Under the second tab, proxy settings can be configured. Just check the Use Proxy Settings box, and fill in address and port. You can also add a username and a password. Miscellaneous. On the third tab, several general preferences can be configured. These include download options for kit images which aren't included in the initial installation of GravityZone, two-factor authentication, NTP server settings, telemetry settings, and a push notifications check for mobile devices. Backup. To make sure all your Control Center data is safe, you may want to backup the GravityZone database. Backups are available either on demand, or scheduled. For more information on how to restore a backup, just follow the link provided in the beginning of the page. Active Directory. If you own this module, here is where you can add multiple Microsoft Active Directories to your GravityZone. You can also configure access permissions on Control Center, for users within Active Directory security groups. Virtualization providers. Under this tab, you can configure Control Center's integration with different virtualization management tools. Currently, GravityZone integrates with vCenter Server, XenServer, Nutanix Prism Element, Amazon EC2, and Azure. Certificates. The last tab is where you set your security certificates for all of your available components. Update. Under the Update page, you can configure the update settings that apply to all GravityZone products and components, for both product and signature updates. An Update button will be displayed here in case of any available updates from Bitdefender. Click it in order to update to the latest version. To view information about existing GravityZone component packages, navigate to the Components tab. From here you can also publish packages for your desired components. In order to configure the update server, click Settings. Here, you can turn staging on or off, and configure the update server's details. Staging enables you to test released updates before applying them on your network. As for the update server's details, we recommend not to modify these if you want the latest updates provided. Dashboard. The console dashboard provides you with an overview of the security status of your systems. Portlets provide real-time information regarding the status of the network. The portlets can be customized based on the user's preferences. Depending on the product bundle, the Tools area contains HVI Tools Management Center, available only for bundles with HVI, and Sandbox Analyzer Manual Submission, available only for Elite and Ultra Security, and as an add-on for MSP and Enterprise Security. If you are using the cloud version of GravityZone, clicking on the company name in the right upper corner opens the My Account, My Company, Integrations, Credentials Manager, Help and Support, Feedback, and Logout options. For GravityZone on-premise, My Company, and Integrations are not available. Under My Account, the user can set their full name and email, time zone, preferred language, and session timeout, as well as configure API keys. My Company, which is available for the Cloud Console only, allows the user to change company details such as the logo, license, add-on keys, and partners. The GravityZone Cloud Console can integrate with ConnectWise, Amazon EC2, and Microsoft Windows Defender ATP. The integration between GravityZone and Microsoft's Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection enables Microsoft customers to manage the security of their macOS and Linux-based endpoints within the Windows Defender Security Center Management Console. With this integration, GravityZone will send information about malware and product status events from its managed macOS and Linux-based endpoints to Windows Defender Security Center. The Credentials Manager offers the option to store credentials for the available environments in order to use them at a later time, when deploying. The format used must be username at domain. The notification button allows the user to configure the notifications displayed in the control center, as well as those received via email. The Help and Support button contains essential steps, install, administrator and API guides, the support tool, and the quarantine tools required to retrieve quarantined items when using vShield and NSX. Also, the feedback form, which allow users to send feedback directly to Bitdefender. When using the GravityZone Ultra Security, the incidents area becomes accessible, showing threats and incidents that are currently active on the network. Licensing. You only need to license the GravityZone security services, but not the control center or the GravityZone appliances. GravityZone security services can be licensed as a bundle or separately. On GravityZone Cloud, the add-on and/or license keys can be changed from the My Company tab in the GravityZone Control Center. While on-premise, to enter a new license key or view the current license details, go to Configuration, then License. You will then have to opt for the type of subscription you want. Network. To access the network view, navigate to Network in the left menu. Here you can see all of your network's endpoints, with or without BEST installed on them. Depending on the type of machine, online or offline, managed or unmanaged, the endpoints will have different icons here. The buttons found on top of the device list will allow you to take the desired action. We have tasks, integrations, reports, assign policy, assign security servers, go to container, recovery manager, delete, and refresh. On larger display resolutions, each button will have its description right next to it. You also have the possibility to customize the information displayed by clicking on the 3 vertical lines located in the top right corner, and showing or hiding any of the 6 available columns. Based on the types of devices that we choose in Network View, there are different tasks available for each security service. Incidents. GravityZone Ultra integrates layered next-gen endpoint protection, and an easy-to-use EDR platform that protects against even the most elusive cyber threats. It contains 2 major components, the EDR sensor, that collects, processes, and reports endpoint and application behavior data, and the security analytics, which is a backend component used to interpret metadata collected by the EDR sensor. With EDR Blocklist and Search, you have access to extra tools such as real-time endpoint visibility, insight into suspicious activities, alert triage and incident analysis visualization, one-click investigation, track live attacks and lateral movements, and rapid response with fast resolution, containment, and remediation. The EDR sensor policy allows you to enable or disable the EDR sensor, to continuously monitor endpoint activity such as running processes, network connections, or registry changes. This metadata is collected, reported, and processed by the security analytics servers. At this stage, machine learning algorithms detect suspicious files and processes running on the system, generating notifications from these incidents. Packages. The default installation packages are available for download under the Network tab. Here you can view the installation packages for Endpoint Security Tools and Security Server, as well as create or delete custom installation packages, according to your security requirements. The Add option allows users to create the packages with specific modules, roles, and settings. The Download option allows the user to download the packages locally, for Windows, Linux, or Mac. To remove one or more packages from this list, just select them and click the Delete button. Tasks. You can view and manage the tasks under Network, then Tasks. Administrative tasks can be ran remotely on network devices, computers, virtual machines, or mobile devices. To check execution progress on target clients, click the link in the status column. Here you can view the task's details by clicking it in the table. Security Server. Security Server is a dedicated virtual machine that deduplicates and centralizes most of the anti-malware functionality of anti-malware clients, acting as a scan server. The centralized scan feature in connection with a security server should be used primarily for virtual machines, but it can also be used for physical computers, while they are connected to the company network, and have access to the security server. Centralized scan features a very low resource consumption on systems compared to traditional local scan engines. In case of VMware virtualization environments with vShield endpoint, you must install the purpose-built appliance on each host to be protected. All virtual machines on a host are automatically connected via vShield endpoint to the security server instance installed on that host. In all of the other environments, you must install Security Server on one or more hosts, in order to accommodate the number of virtual and physical machines to be protected. Best installed on virtual or physical endpoints, connects to the security server via TCP/IP, using the details set during the installation or via a policy. If Control Center is integrated with vCenter Server, XenServer, or Nutanix, you can automatically deploy Security Server on hosts from Control Center. Security Server can be remotely deployed on hosts from VMware or Citrix Xen virtualization environments, by selecting the corresponding hosts, under the Network page, and then initiate the Install Security Server task from the Actions menu. In all virtualized environments that are not integrated with Control Center, you must manually install Security Server, using an installation package. The Security Server package is available for download, from Control Center, in several different formats, compatible with the main virtualization platforms. In order to download the Security Server appliance packages from Control Center, go to Network, then Packages. Select the default Security Server package, and click Download, then choose the type of package. Save the package to the desired location and deploy it on the host using your preferred VM deployment tool. The Security Server configuration script allows you to provide the network configuration for the security server, the proxy configuration, if needed, the communication server address and port, and the server update address and port. Once these settings are configured, the security server will be listed accordingly in the Control Center web console, and you will be able to connect best installations with Central Scan to it. Bitdefender Endpoint Security Tools. To protect your physical and virtual endpoints, you must install Bitdefender Endpoint Security Tools, or BEST for short, on each of them. BEST manages protection on the local endpoint. It also communicates with Control Center in order to receive the administrator's commands, and to send the results. You can install BEST either as a security agent for your endpoints, or as a BEST relay, acting as a communication, proxy, and update server for other endpoints in the network. BEST can be installed on both physical and virtual endpoints, by locally executing installation packages, or by remotely running installation tasks from Control Center. To create a BEST package, go to Packages under Network, and click on Add. You will then need to add a name for the package to be created, and select the protection modules that you want to install. The anti-malware module is automatically selected and cannot be unchecked. You can add to the package several other modules, such as firewall, content control, and so on. Next, a relay or an exchange protection role can be added. Best relay is a special role which adds an update server and communication proxy. Exchange protection adds the protection modules for Microsoft Exchange servers, which include anti-malware, anti-spam, and content and attachment filtering for the Exchange email traffic. Scan mode can be either automatic or custom. Automatic scanning will detect the endpoint's configuration and will adapt the scanning accordingly. Custom scanning allows the administrator to choose between local scan, hybrid scan, or central scan. Various other settings can be configured, such as scheduling a scan before installation, adding a custom installation path, or setting an uninstall password. Under Deployer, the target for installing and updating Best Client is set, which can be either the GravityZone appliance, or Best with Relay. Once the package has been created, it can be downloaded from the console. Execute the downloaded file from the target computer, and follow the installation steps. Make sure that the installation is run using administrator privileges. Once Best has been installed, it takes a few minutes for the computer to show up as managed in Control Center, under Network. Best can also be remotely installed on Active Directory computers, or computers that are detected in the network. To enable network discovery, you must have Best installed on at least one computer in the network. This computer will be used to scan the entire network. Keep in mind that a network discovery task must be sent by the administrator from the web console in order to initiate this. Best with Relay automatically performs network discovery. More info about how network discovery works and its requirements is available at Bitdefender's Support Center. Once installed, Best can be opened locally from the tray icon. The protection status and modules are displayed here, but cannot be modified unless the user has power user access. With Power User on, administrator rights are enabled at user level. This allows the endpoint user to access and modify security settings via a local console. Once enabled, this can be accessed by right-clicking on Best's tray icon and then clicking on Power User. The password is set via policy by the network administrator. Active Directory integration. This integration allows GravityZone to import the computer inventory from Active Directory. This way, you can easily deploy and manage protection on Active Directory endpoints. The integration is performed through a managed endpoint, called Active Directory Integrator. Just search for the managed endpoint in Control Center, check it, and go to Integrations. You can then set it as Active Directory Integrator. An Active Directory integrator can be removed by searching on your network for the device, selecting it, and then clicking on Remove Active Directory Integrator. Best Relay. Endpoint Security Tools with Relay is a special role which installs an update server on the target machine along with endpoint security tools that can be used to update all the other clients in the network, lowering the bandwidth usage between the client machines and the GravityZone appliance. The relay role also provides communication proxy functionalities. If you install an endpoint security tools with relay in your network, all the managed computers will communicate with the GravityZone appliance through the endpoint with relay role. Best can also be installed through the remote installation package through the relay. The relay will also automatically perform network discovery in the network where it has been deployed. When deploying endpoint security tools in a remote office where endpoint security tools with relay has already been installed, the package will be deployed from the locally installed relay, as it also becomes a local update server. This diagram represents a company network with endpoints in the company's headquarters and in an isolated remote office, as well as other off-site endpoints that will need to be protected with GravityZone. The GravityZone Control Center has been set up in the headquarters. The headquarters endpoints have direct access to the communication server. The endpoints in a small remote office, or endpoints of remote users, can access the communication server from the headquarters, directly over the internet, through VPN. If VPN connection is not available on the remote clients, endpoint security clients can access the GravityZone communication server, if port forwarding from the company gateway public IP address to the communication server local IP address has been set up on the company gateway. In case of larger remote offices or isolated remote offices, the endpoint security tools relay can be used as a communication proxy between endpoints and the communication server installed in the company headquarters. In this case, endpoint security tools installed on computers from the remote office will communicate directly only with the endpoint security tools relay. This means that you will only need one computer in the entire remote office with access to the control center over VPN, or port forwarding configured on the company gateway. On this computer you will install the endpoint security tools relay client. Reports. Reports will be generated based on the information stored in the product database. Several different types of reports are available for each Gravity Zone security service. These can be generated on demand, or scheduled to run once or at specific time intervals. Scheduled reports can also be sent by email to the administrator. The generated information is presented as easy-to-read pie charts, tables, and graphs, allowing you to quickly check the network security status, and identify security issues. Quarantine. Quarantine allows you to remotely manage the quarantined files for endpoint security and security for virtualized environments services. Quarantined files can be permanently deleted or restored to their original location or to a custom path. In case of protected VMware virtualization environments integrated with vShield Endpoint or NSX for agentless anti-malware, the quarantine is centralized on the security server appliance. Due to vShield, NSX restrictions, quarantined files cannot be restored to their original location. You will only be able to download them from the quarantine to a custom location. Centralized quarantine can be configured on-premise via policy. It sends an archived copy of each local quarantined file to a network share. After enabling this option, each quarantined file from the managed endpoints is copied and packed in a password-protected zip archive to the specified network location. Accounts. You can create custom users for Control Center, or even add users from Active Directory. When adding a user from Active Directory, user details are automatically imported, and they are synchronized regularly. Imported users can log in Control Center using their AD password. A user can have one of the following roles: Partner, but this applies only on Cloud Console; Company Administrator; Network Administrator; and Security Analyst, which is able to create, edit, and delete reports. Custom roles can also be created. A manual selection of user rights is available for each custom role. For every user, you can restrict access to specific Gravity Zone services, or to specific areas of the network. The relationship between different account roles and their user rights can be seen here. A company administrator has full access to all management features of the Gravity Zone solution. A company admin can configure Control Center, manage the security service license keys and user accounts, while also having administrative privileges over the company's network security settings. Company admins can create accounts with privileges lower or equal to them. Network administrators have privileges over the company's entire Gravity Zone deployment, or over a specific group of computers, including user management. They are responsible for actively managing the Gravity Zone security settings, and they can also create accounts with privileges lower or equal to them. Security analysts are internal read-only accounts. They only have access to reports and logs. Such accounts can be allocated to personnel with monitoring responsibilities, or to other employees that must be kept up to date with security status. They cannot create any accounts. As for the custom accounts, they can include a certain combination of user rights. If a predefined type of user account does not fit your needs, you can create a custom user, by selecting only the privileges that you are interested in. For each user account, the access to certain Gravity Zone features can be customized through different user rights. User rights are predefined for the available account roles, but you can manually select them for the custom roles. Manage Networks provides administrative privileges over the network security settings. Manage Users allows users to create, edit, and delete user accounts, and access to user activity logs. Manage Reports allows users to create, edit, and delete reports, and manage the dashboard. Manage Company permits the Gravity Zone license keys management, and access to the company's profile settings. Manage Solution allows the configuration of Control Center. This is specific to company admins. User activity logs can be viewed under Accounts, then User Activity. The Service Selector allows you to filter logs by security service. To easily find what you are looking for, use the search boxes or the available filtering options at the top of the page. In order to sort events by a specific column, simply click the header of that column. For a more detailed log on a specific event, select it and check the lower section of the page. Companies. As a direct Bitdefender partner, you will be in charge of creating and managing control center accounts for the partners and customers that you provide services to. Additionally, you will manage the service subscriptions of your end customers. Partner company accounts are intended for companies that sell the Bitdefender solution to other companies, such as end users, distributors, or resellers of the service. Customer company accounts are intended for companies that use the security solution service to protect their computer networks. Such companies can install, configure, manage, and monitor their own protection. A customer company must be linked to at least one company administrator user account. To create a company account, you should access the Control Center, go to Companies, and then click Add. You should fill the company name and the other requested details. Under Company Settings, select the company type, partner, or customer. Select the license type and click on Save. When selecting Licensed, you can enter an yearly key, or enable the monthly subscription. Under Monthly Subscription, partners can limit the number of seats by entering a specific number in the Reserve Seats field. MSPs can register with Bitdefender directly, to gain access to the MSP solution, or through a different Bitdefender partner or distributor. After signing an MSP agreement, the partner that works with Bitdefender can reserve a certain number of endpoints in the Bitdefender Partner Advantage Network Portal, or PAN for short. The partner then selects which company accounts linked under him can use their monthly licenses, so there is no need of generating other license keys. When using the monthly subscription, Bitdefender will invoice the partner that made the reservation in PAN, based on the total number of active endpoints used during the previous month. One endpoint is considered used or active if it was protected and if it synced to the Bitdefender servers, at least once during a calendar month. A monthly subscription gets you access to features such as the security server, gravity zone security for Exchange, hyperdetection, sandboxing, endpoint detection and response, or EDR for short, patch management, and full disk encryption. Policies. Bitdefender protection can be configured and managed from Control Center, using security policies. A policy specifies the security settings to be applied on the target network devices. After installation, network devices are assigned the default policy, which is pre-configured with the recommended protection settings. You cannot modify or delete the default policy, but you can use it as a template for creating new policies. The main features of policies are that they can inherit several modules settings from other policies, endpoints can have only one active policy at a time, you can assign a policy to individual endpoints or to groups of endpoints, and they apply only to the installed protection modules. You can configure policy assignment to endpoints so that a policy can apply only in certain conditions, based on location, or logged user. Therefore, an endpoint can have more policies assigned to it, but only one will be active. When creating a new policy, you can use the default policy as a template and change the settings as needed. With Best Policy, you can configure the display settings for the best client, anti-malware, firewall, content control, application control, device control, sandbox analyzer, relay, exchange protection, HVI, patch management, encryption, storage protection and EDR sensor. General settings help you manage user interface display options, communication options, update preferences, password protection and other settings of endpoint security. Anti-malware will allow you to configure on-access scan settings, advanced thread control, on-demand scan settings, device scanning, quarantine, exclusions, and security server. The firewall protects the devices from inbound and outbound unauthorized connection attempts. Content control includes settings for web access control, application blacklisting, and data protection. The application control module prevents malware and zero-day attacks, and enhances security without impacting productivity. Device control allows you to block connections of specific devices such as flash drives to your network. Under Relay, you can specify how best communicates with the Gravity Zone appliance and cloud services. Exchange scan and filtering rules can be created under Exchange protection. Hypervisor memory introspection, or HVI for short, protects virtual machines against advanced threats that signature-based engines cannot defeat. The Patch Management module releases you from the burden of keeping the endpoints updated with the latest software patches, by automatically distributing and installing patches for a vast variety of products. Encryption provides full disk encryption for both boot and non-boot volumes on fixed storage devices, using BitLocker drive encryption on Windows, and FileVault on Mac. The EDR sensor continuously monitors endpoint activity such as running processes, network connections, or registry changes. Now, let's see some more in-depth details regarding some of these policies. HyperDetect uses specialized local machine models, behavior analysis techniques, trained to spot hacking tools, exploits, and malware obfuscation techniques, in the pre-execution stage. Sandbox Analyzer provides a powerful layer of protection against advanced threats, by automatically performing in-depth analysis of suspicious files, not yet signed by Bitdefender's anti-malware engines. The Volume Encryption module allows you to provide full disk encryption by managing BitLocker, FileVault, and other third-party tools if they are provided with encryption keys. A security server can be configured as a scanning service for network-attached storage devices, and file-sharing solutions compliant with Internet Content Adaptation Protocol. Both Nutanix AFS and Citrix FileShare are supported. With security for mobile devices, you will be able to configure scan settings, storage encryption, compliance settings, password, and profiles, for mobile devices. A mobile device is declared non-compliant if, for example, in the case of an Android device, it is rooted, USB debugging setting is enabled, or if malware is not removed within the first 24 hours after detection. Almost the same situations apply for iOS devices.